Ghosts, spirits, poltergeists, demons. Do they exist? Is there life after life? Are there unseen entities around us? Can they communicate? Do you believe? What happens in the shadows doesn't always stay in the shadows. Live from Northwest Georgia, covering the region and beyond, this is Georgia Paranormal Radio. And now, here is your host, Mike Watkins.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Georgia Paranormal Radio. This is your host, Mike Watkins, and I am so glad that you've joined us tonight for episode number 24, I believe it is. Yeah, 24. Where has the time gone? And we are talking tonight to Marty Seibel of the Shenandoah Valley Paranormal Society. It's going to be one of those group spotlight shows, and we're going to talk about what they're up to up that way. And just see what's going on in their world. I'm sure that they've got some interesting tales for us, and hopefully we'll be able to learn something new. And I have to admit, before I introduce Marty here, that last week I sounded like an idiot because I, honest to goodness, did not know where the Shenandoah Valley was. That's awful. I've got so many emails this week saying, "Hello, idiot, it's nowhere out west." So, geography was never my strong suit. I did English. So, anyway, welcome to the show, Marty. I am so glad that you have joined us tonight, and just want you to be welcome here and be loose and tell our listeners what's on your mind, and don't hold anything back, and it's okay to be silly. So, welcome aboard.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
You have.
It's great to be here.
Well, we're not done yet. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. You are my first guinea pig for doing this show via the old Skype interface. And hopefully the technology will hold out. The sound quality is already so much better than our cell phone interface, and I appreciate you being willing to experiment with me on this. But I think this sound quality is going to be excellent for the listeners at home, and hopefully you'll enjoy the show better than with a staticky cell phone call. So,
right.
Marty, just dig in here. Tell us about the Shenandoah Valley Paranormal Society, your group. Tell us when you were founded. Tell us how many members you have, and just dig right in.
Okay. Well, the Shenandoah Valley Paranormal Society was founded by myself in August of 2005. I did it as an opportunity for people in this immediate area to share some of their beliefs and interests and knowledge that they have to come together and form a group that was looking for answers more so with ghost and paranormal, what happens to people after they die, and so on. I basically started, I've always been interested in the paranormal and ghosts since an early age, and just really basically looking for answers. It started out for me probably about the year 2000. I started seeing television shows on the Travel Channel of different haunted locations and places to visit, and I would always tell myself I'd like to see some of those places. So I began a journey of staying at different haunted bed and breakfasts, hotels up and down the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 years later, I was joined by my girlfriend Lisa Rose, and probably to date by now we've stayed at about 15 to 20 different locations. We've just expanded upon that. About 2 years ago, we joined a group, not longer than 2 years ago, about 4 years ago, we joined a group out of Richmond, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
called Old Dominion Paranormal Investigators. This group folded after a year or two, so that was another part of my thinking of forming our own group here in the Shenandoah Valley.
What kind of investigations do you folks do? Do you do homes, or just places you can stay, or cemeteries? Do you venture out anywhere you can get?
we basically venture out anywhere we can get, but by doing it the right and proper way with getting the proper permission and making sure you're at places that you're legally supposed to be at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I see a lot of people, other groups that don't do, and gives us a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've done residences, different battlefields, cemeteries, bed and breakfasts, hotels, basically a little bit of everything.
Excellent. And you had mentioned before that y'all are about only about 3 hours from Gettysburg, so I guess
Right.
I guess y'all have had some good experiences there, and we'll talk about that so the listeners can know some of those good haunting experiences here in a little bit. But tell me how many people are totally in your group, or how many members I should say do you have in your group?
Well, we have 10 active members,
Excellent.
and then we have about 4 to 5 that are more so in training, and
Excellent.
they do various different projects with the group.
What kind of training process do you put the folks through? How long before they can actually get out into the field and get into some of this good haunting evidence?
Well, we put them through training with the various types of equipment, different procedures to use, protocols that we use within the group. Um, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, even longer, just depending on how each member progresses with it. We don't take anybody out without training.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a wise decision. That's a lot of people can end up messing up or getting hurt or a little bit of both,
Exactly.
and can even go as far as to ruining a group's reputation by taking green recruits out. So, yeah, that's a good practice. Tell us about some of your basic group beliefs and why you do what you do. Is it a personal thing? Is it a religious thing? Where do you come into the field at? From what perspective?
Um, Basically, for me and most of the members I can speak for of the group, it's a personal thing, more so looking for answers. I consider it one of the biggest mysteries out there, and I think you know, it's just an incredible thing to document and keep up with and study. There's so many different accounts, and there's so many different theories and uh, opinions uh, that we go on. We all pretty much go with that as our main interest for doing it. That's what we're driven by.
Okay. Do you make any charge or any fees for, like, say, if I was to be Johnny homeowner up there in your area and want to call you in because my dead Uncle Fred keeps slamming bedroom doors at 3 in the morning? Do y'all make any charge or fee for coming out?
No, we're absolutely free of charge. We charge nothing at all.
Excellent, excellent. You had didn't you tell me that you had trained with at one point with Al Tejas?
Al Tiles, yes, I did.
Titus.
When we first started out with Old Dominion Paranormal Investigators,
Mm-hmm.
they were affiliated at the time with his group out of Washington, D.C., which is the D.C. Metro, I believe, Ghost
Mm-hmm.
Hunters. And they were a family member of the Taps family. And we were able to train, Lisa and I both were able to train under him for a couple days and learn a lot of valuable tools. I believe he has folded up his group now and is more of a member with the TAPS group now.
Yeah, I think he took over running the whole family for Taps. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
God bless him for that. I know his hands have got to be full. That would be a hard job to have. Now, I notice on your website after reviewing it that you have kind of an article on there about orbs, which is the hot topic of any paranormal group. You can divide it into 3 or 4 camps of you absolutely don't believe them, you absolutely do believe them, you don't care about them, or you just don't know what to think about them. So where does your group as a whole, as a general consensus, stand on the orb issue?
Mhm. Well, we basically believe in orbs, although I will tell you that there are many different types of orbs. From as you well know, dust particles, weather can cause it, a bug. Uh, my general belief, and most of the people within our group, are the type of orbs that are transparent, as to where you can see through, or are very faint.
Mm-hmm.
That we tend to classify them more in the dust category,
Okay.
as opposed to something that's more solid.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something that's solid, emitting its own light, showing intelligence. That's I guess that's kind of an acceptable orb in some people's eyes. I guess my opinion varies depending on what day of the week it is, but
Right. Well,
it's
one thing with us too, with orbs, we use photographs or whatnot, if we get them in conjunction with more evidence, say like an EMF reading, or if we think that they may show some type of intelligence, as if you're talking and they appear in a certain location or something.
mm-hmm.
You combine all that together, and kind of gives it a little bit more of a concrete um, feeling.
Absolutely. Now, where do you good folks stand on psychics or sensitives, even to that degree? Do you use them? Do you have them in your group?
Well, we have two ladies in our group that I won't say they're psychics, but they're a little bit more sensitive, as so that they can pick up and kind of sense if there might be something negative in the area.
Mm-hmm.
They're not to the point where they can, communicate with anybody or anyone. Uh, my personal belief on that, I tend to believe that there are some people that can, but I believe it's very rare and few.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's more people out there that kind of give it a bad name and can't do that. That's my own personal opinion.
Absolutely. Do you folks venture into using any dowsing rods, any crystals, anything like that?
Yes, we do. The two ladies I've just mentioned, they both do dowsing, and they do take crystals with them when they go on an investigation. Their belief is they take it more as a protection, for something to protect them. They're the only two in the group that do that.
Okay. Well, let's just move right on ahead into to some of your best investigation moments, and we'll leave the pre-formatted questions kind of at the door for this segment, and just tell us some of your war stories. Everybody loves to hear these paranormal war stories. So tell us about what's been going on out in the field. Tell us about your evidence that you've gotten, and the best of the best.
Okay. Well, as I told you, we live about 3 hours away from Gettysburg, and we do a lot with Gettysburg, a lot on the battlefield, and a lot at some haunted inns up in the area. Some of the best instances or investigations we've had have been at the Farnsworth House, which is located right in the heart of Gettysburg off Baltimore Street. Um, our very first night there, we stayed in the Catherine Sweeney room.
Hmm?
And our first night in there, about the middle of the night, Lisa had woke up to a nudging at the side of her leg, and as she looked up, she seen a woman in Victorian clothing. It was a woman in her mid-40s, to say,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in black and white. She had no color to her, and then she just disappeared. This happened 2 nights in a row. Where the second night, Lisa didn't look up. She felt the nudging, but she did not look up the second night. Now, I've stayed at many places, many inns, hotels, bed and breakfasts. I've been to many places, and I've never had a feeling like I've had that particular weekend we stayed at the Farnsworth House. For me, it was a feeling of heaviness, sadness. I didn't feel quite right. The whole weekend, I didn't sleep a wink. Just a really weird feeling. And like I say, I've been at many, many places, but that one particular weekend at the Farnsworth House was really something I won't forget. Now, we've had several instances and things on the battlefield as well, where we've taken incredible photographs, which you can see on the website at www.valleyghosthunters.com. I will say one more thing concerning the Farnsworth house, because they do, in my opinion, it is commercialized and they do hype it up a lot. For what reason, I guess, for business, they do stay packed. As far as making reservations there, they do have a lot of people come in and out. But I've stayed there numerous times. The last time we were there, we stayed in a room called the Sarah Black Room. It is supposedly haunted by the ghost of a little boy named Jeremy, who was in the 1880s run over by a carriage in front of the house. He was playing what they call a game of tag back then, and as he ran out into the street, he was run over by a carriage, and they brought him into the home, and he died a few days later in that particular room. It's supposed to be their most active room. Now, the first night we stayed there, we tried to get EVPs immediately, and I have one if you want to play it.
Okay, we'll do that right now. I'll do it in the traditional way that we do it. I will mix it in, and I will loop it about 3 times for the good folks, and there will be about 3 to 5 seconds between each loop so that you can better hear what the spirits have to say. So here you go. Here's an EVP loop for you right now.
Jeremy, do you like us being here? Do you want to play this game? The name of the game is Jenga. Jeremy, do you like us being here? Do you want to play this game? The name of the game is Jenga. Jeremy, do you like us being here? Do you want to play this game? The name of the game is Jenga.
All right, Marty, what in the world was that one saying?
Well, we had asked Jeremy I had asked Jeremy if he'd like us being there, and his response, to the best I can understand, is I'm bored. And then there's a few second pause, and you will hear him humming. It's like he's humming in the background.
Excellent.
Now, we had actually made plans to stay there again. Matter of fact, we are doing an investigation up in Gettysburg in 2 weeks, and we had made plans to stay at the Farnsworth again. But they canceled out on us about 2 weeks ago. They're doing renovations right now, and the inn will not be ready. So we've changed that now to the Cashtown Inn, which is located just outside of Gettysburg.
Excellent. What other experiences have you had up in that area?
Well, there have been numerous hot spots that we visited. One is right across from Devil's Den, a place called Plum Gourd. And about 2 years ago, we were doing a walk through there and taking photographs and doing some EVP work. And as I was crossing the bridge from there, I was leading a group, and I felt something tug on. I have like a gold necklace, and I felt something tug it. Well, as I turned around, I thought it was my girlfriend Lisa who was behind me. But as I turned around to tell her to knock it off, she was like 10, 15 feet behind me.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a really good tug, too. Definitely got my attention.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of folks that visit Gettysburg say they've seen, full apparitions up there. Have y'all had anything that dramatic happen?
Not so much on the battlefield, other than the time I've just mentioned at the Farnsworth House with what Lisa saw. We have been to numerous spots on the battlefield and gotten good EVPs and excellent photographs. Places like Devil's Den, the Wheat Field, Little Round Top, and there's a place called Sachs Bridge that's located about a mile behind the battlefield that has a lot of activity. As a matter of fact, we've never been there a time that we have not recorded something, whether it be an EVP or photograph or whatnot. This area was used as a line of retreat by the Confederates after the battle, and basically they had a lot of soldiers that died along this bridge area along the river there, and basically at that time they just left them. So it's a very active area.
And you see that in a lot of the battlefields, the Civil War battlefields in the area. Chickamauga, that occurred where 35,000 casualties basically, and many of them just left out in the field. Some of them for weeks, and I would suppose that could create some very special entities around there.
Right.
And some very deep emotions out of these entities if they actually saw themselves laying there. So it would be interesting. What is the most frightening experience that you have had doing this?
I would have to say, basically, I haven't gotten frightened very much. I will say the one night in the Farnsworth house, basically because of what Lisa saw, she did scream when it happened.
Yeah.
And so that kind of shocked me. But that would be as close as being scared I could say that I have been. I will say, I like I said, I had a very funny, eerie feeling that whole weekend, and I've never had nothing like it since or before.
Excellent. Now, did you have any other EVPs that you wanted to share with the listeners?
Yes, I do have one. This was taken down in Stonewall Jackson Cemetery, which is located in Lexington, Virginia. It's about 30 miles south of where we are right now. It's a lot of Civil War Confederate veterans that were buried in the cemetery, along with Stonewall Jackson. We had two girls in our group doing EVP work toward the back of the cemetery. They were alone, and it was the same two that I mentioned earlier that take crystals with them. Well, they had taken crystals with them, and they had placed them down on a crib. And you can play the EVP, and you'll hear what's being said.
Okay. Hold on just a second. We'll play that EVP right now.
Probably figured out. Is there somebody here with us? Forget the crystal. Probably figured out. Is there somebody here with us? Forget the crystal. Probably figured out. Is there somebody here with us? Forget the crystal.
All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that EVP loop. and pretty self-explanatory. And you got that in the Stonewall Jackson Cemetery.
Yes, that's one of our better EVPs that we've recorded.
It's excellent. That's excellent. I have to apologize and explain also to the listeners. I'll digress for just a second from our interview here. And this Skype interface, Lord love it, I've edited it out 2 or 3 times, saying I can understand now why it's free, because it is just cutting the dickens out of our conversation. And I apologize to you, number one, Marty, and number two, to the listeners for having such choppy audio. That is not our normal practice. And let me assure them that the next interview that we do, we'll just go back to old reliable on the old cell phone interface and avoid this technological nightmare here, because the sound quality is not going to be as good as I'd hoped for. So I apologize to you and to the listeners for that.
No problem.
Now, I guess we've kind of jumped around a little bit here and a little bit there. Did you have anything special that you wanted to cover? Anything groundbreaking, earth-shattering that you wanted to talk about specifically?
Well, I would like to mention for people up in this area, or anybody that's really interested, that there is a Ghost World Conference coming up July 20th through the 22nd in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be held at the Wyndham Conference and Hotel in downtown Gettysburg. There'll be such people there as Jeff Belanger, Mark Nesbitt, and Troy Taylor, along with many other fine guests as well. And they'll be having a trade show with some of the most up-to-date paranormal equipment out there for people to buy or that are interested in, as well as workshops too that they offer.
Yeah, it sounds. Jeff had mentioned it while he was on the show a few weeks back, and it sounds like it's going to be something special. And Jeff's just a great guy, and so if he's involved with it, you know it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining and educational, because man, he has got some good books out there, and being able to tap into that knowledge firsthand is going to be worth a trip to Gettysburg for the folks that are up that way, and even for folks that aren't up that way. I wish it was a little more in my budget to head that way, because I would love to just pick his brain for one afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're very much looking forward to going.
Absolutely, no doubt. That'd be something to look forward to, and hopefully they'll have them more frequently, and have them every year or something. And I can make it up there one year to meet all the good folks up that way. We got a lot of listeners up towards Pennsylvania and Virginia and up in that area, and I'd like to one year actually be able to make it up there to meet everybody. But
it's a great area.
Yeah, it is a great area. There's a lot of haunted history there that I don't think I'd be able to come home. I'd have to ghost hunt until I dropped. But
we're in an area too where we have a lot of battlefields, particularly Civil War battlefields here in the valley and up into Maryland, Pennsylvania. So it's a lot of area to cover.
Yeah, I imagine y'all have your choice. Let me ask you this, and people around here know, and people that have listened know that our nearest battlefield is the Chickamauga battlefield, and the problem we have here is with vandalism at that battlefield. And you can't be in there at night anymore. Pretty much after dark, you're ordered to get out or face jail time. Do y'all have the same problem up there with these national parks, these national military parks, as we do down here, where they throw you out at dark?
Yes, we do. Gettysburg is the only battlefield in the area that I know. Through the spring months, they'll stay open until 10 p.m. Winter, it's 7. Everything else is pretty much at dusk or 5 p.m., which, unless you get special permission. And there have been a few battlefields where we have been able to get permission to get out on after hours, but the majority of them you have to be off by dusk, and that is due to a lot of the fact that you have people that do the vandalism thing and are just mess things up for everybody else.
Absolutely. I was talking to a friend of mine with East Georgia Paranormal. Of course, we're over here on the west side, and we were talking about something special that we're trying to get together, which I'll mention later in the show to the folks. But we're talking about people that trespass and vandalize in the name of paranormal research, and how it has really just become, it's more than a nuisance now. It has become a huge problem because it's giving us all a black eye.
Right.
What somebody does out in California is affecting me here in Georgia, and you up there in the Northeast, and everybody. It's hurting everyone when people do stupid things in the name of ghost hunting. And I hate to say it this way, but for people that are going to be stupid like that, they need to just sit home and watch TV instead of getting out and trying to do it themselves. Because they're hurting this community, and there's enough problems in this community as it is. I mean, as if we don't have that going on, we're still infighting. There's a lot of infighting. I don't know how you folks are up there with your neighbor groups. I mean, we formed some alliances with our neighbor groups and help each other out, and are actually good friends with our other groups that are here in this area. But there are a lot of groups around who are fighting over territory and fighting over policies and everything. And I'm hoping that we can all just come together as a community and kind of grow up a little.
Right. We've not had that problem yet, as far as running across groups fighting for territory or whatnot. Basically, the nearby groups, we've been able to freely share information and whatnot quite easily, so that's not been a problem for us. One thing I will mention, as far as like with Gettysburg, and you talk about the people coming out there vandalizing, or the ghost hunter that's just out there for the thrill. Gettysburg is a hot spot for that, and you do have people from all different types come out and do that, which really makes it bad for everybody else, especially the people that really put the time and try to do it the right way. It affects us all.
Absolutely. And like I said, if you're not going to do it right, stay home and watch it on TV, because there are people out here in this field who bust their tails day in and day out working on that evidence and doing things the right way to make it scientifically and personally acceptable. And we need to knock off that childishness. And I'm glad that your group, from looking over your website and talking with you, I'm glad that your group handles things in a professional way. You folks look like a good, top-notch group. You're out there to do things right the first time. And, of course, nobody says you can't have a little fun while you're doing it, but
right.
There's a difference between having that fun and just being an idiot. And you folks look like you're very professional, and very good website. I encourage folks to visit your website and take a look at it. It's very well done. There will be a link to us on there. We're going to do a link exchange with you folks. I've got to update our website here in the next day or two whenever I'm off duty. But I encourage you. It's help me out with the address there, Marty. My bad memory hit me again.
www.valleyghosthunters.com.
valleyghosthunters.com. Look them up, folks. They are out there. They're putting in the time in the field. They're getting their research. He's putting up with me on this radio show tonight and this freaky interface. God love it. So look them up and just do that. And I'm guessing y'all are accepting. Lord, I just showed I was from the South, didn't I? Even though I try to sound educated, I just said y'all. I reckon y'all's is taking members and investigations around there. No, I guess you're taking new members, new investigations, answering emails if somebody has a question.
Yes, we are. You can email me from the website, which it's all right there on the front page. Excellent. Well, Marty, unless you have anything else, brother, I'm going to put my Skype interface out of its misery. If I can find my service revolver. And
I do appreciate you being on. I'm sorry for all the technical glitches that we've had tonight. Like I said before, we're gonna go back to Old Faithful there. And what I'd like to do though is have you back on. Here in
no problem.
Here in a little while, we'll let you get a few more investigations done and have a few more EVPs and maybe some pictures we can post along with on the radio blog page and share some of that evidence.
Yeah, no problem. I'd love to be back. We have quite a busy schedule coming up, so there'll be a lot to report with. We have Gettysburg coming up here in April, the conference in July. We are also doing an investigation at Point Lookout Lighthouse, which is over in Maryland. It was used as a POW camp during the Civil War from 63 to 65. It has a long haunted history and past. And then in the fall, Lisa and I will be taking a New England trip up the coast, and we will be staying at the Lizzie Borden House as well as a Hawthorne Hotel in Salem, Massachusetts.
Wow. You had me when you said lighthouse. That's I've always wanted to investigate a lighthouse. You had me at that word right there. I envy you now. That's so good.
This is our first time, and it's located on the Maryland Peninsula, right on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh, I bet it's going to be beautiful.
And we have it reserved for a night in November. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It has quite a history to it.
Well, I definitely have to hear about that because you say lighthouse and I'm there. I saw the episode of Ghost Hunters where they were down at the lighthouse there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Fort Lauderdale. That one it's below Jacksonville and between Daytona. I know that one. But I was so just wishing I were there. That's I've always wanted to do a lighthouse, even though I'm terrified of heights. Can't explain that one. But
just like me.
Oh, are you scared of heights also?
Yes, I am.
Oh, we were actually having a discussion today at work about our phobias. And when I got to page 3 of what I'm afraid of, I just had to give up. I named off so many things: snakes and spiders and heights and confined spaces and open spaces and clowns. And
well, I'm with you on the heights and confined space. I'm right with you on those two.
Yeah, I'm scared of sounding like an idiot on the radio. Well, no, I do that every week. So, but other than that, I just appreciate you being on here. And again, I apologize for the technical flub here. Normally, with Old Faithful, the cell phone interface, this doesn't happen. So we're going back to that. So I want you to come back on. I want you to keep in touch with me and let me know what's going on up there in the Shenandoah Valley. And
I sure will.
Get some more good evidence together, get some good EVPs together, and we'll throw together another show and let the folks know what's going on up there in Shenandoah Valley.
Okay, and if you're ever in the area, you or in your group, feel free to stop by, pay us a visit.
Absolutely, and if you're ever down here, in Chattanooga, Atlanta, hey, give us a holler. We'll get something going.
Definitely.
We can always find a haunted train or something to go on.
Okay. Well, I'll keep you updated with the conference, and I've already made your links, link to you from the website and everything.
Sweet deal. I will get you updated on our site here probably in the next day or two whenever I get a day off duty. But I appreciate you being on here, and what I'm going to do now, we didn't do a commercial break in the show because I've been trying too hard to keep the connection live, so I'm going to go ahead and thank you for being on here, and then we're going to take a commercial break. So I appreciate you being on here, Marty, and let these good folks contact you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. And we'll be right back after this word from our sponsor. Hey folks, Mike Watkins here. Many of you know me as the host of Georgia Paranormal Radio, but I'm also the founder and general manager of the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, which is an anchoring sponsor of this program. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team was founded back in 2004 as a scientifically based research and documentation team. This investigative group has over 17 years of combined experience in dealing with the paranormal, and the unique perspectives and specialties that each member investigator contributes really gives you the full package. You can trust the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team to thoroughly, yet discreetly and confidentially, investigate and document any paranormal phenomenon that you may be experiencing. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team serves a large area of North Georgia, North Alabama, and even Southeast Tennessee. As always, their time and services are 100% free of charge. All they ask for is an invitation from you to let them investigate those cold spots, bumps in the night, or anything else paranormal. And contacting them couldn't be any easier either. Just go to www.nwgapit.com and check them out. The Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team, proudly bringing you Georgia Paranormal Radio and proudly investigating what you fear. All right, everybody, welcome back from that word from our sponsors. I appreciate you making it through that. Appreciate you listening tonight. Appreciate the interview there that we had. Hope you enjoyed that. That was Marty Seibel from Shenandoah Valley Paranormal Society, and he's got some good evidence. He's got a good website. Sounds like he's got a good established team. They got some good protocols. So you need to look him up, and if you're up in that area and you're looking to join up with a good group of investigators, or you need an investigation, hey, get in touch with Marty. He sounds like the man to call. And I appreciate him especially putting up with these technical difficulties tonight, folks. The Skype interface, I'm afraid, may go the way of the dinosaur. I've been dying and dying to use it, and now I'm dying from embarrassment because it failed me horribly. So I ask your forgiveness with that. The sound quality was great though while it was recording. No static, no hissing or anything. It's just it was cutting itself off, and we actually had to pause and restart the interview almost 3 or 4 times. So God bless it. I know why it's free. And hopefully if you're using Skype, you're not having the same issues there. Well, anyway, on to better news there, other than our technical difficulty for the night. The team meeting for the Northwest Georgia Paranormal Investigation Team was this past weekend, Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. It was a good time. We had a good time, and it was good seeing everyone there. Good seeing David and Cindy and Robert and Henry there, and also Betty and Sue, and we had Dale and Charles, and a new young lady. I want to welcome her. Her name is Becky. She's joining up with the team there, and hope I didn't scare you too much there, Becky. Just know that I'm a nut, and hey, that's all you need to know. I'm a nut. But welcome aboard. And we hope you'll enjoy investigating with us and just figuring out the paranormal with us. That's what we're all out here for, is for the community and for the education. And hopefully you'll enjoy your time with us and welcome aboard. That's all I got to say. I want to remind everybody about our MySpace account also. You can contact me at myspace.com/NWGAPIT. You can contact my good friend David Westbrooks, our EVP specialist, by going to myspace.com/TheOldArcher. That's all one word, The Old Archer. And if you should just happen to want to contact our good friend Cindy Westbrooks, our communications manager, you can get in touch with her by going to myspace.com/The Ghost Huntress. The Ghost Huntress. That's Cindy. And of course, if you want to send us an email about your feedback and or any comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that, you can send it to mike@nwgapit.com. Or if you don't want to talk to me, then you can just do David or Cindy, either one of them, at nwgapit.com. Are you detecting a pattern here, folks? I bet you are. So you can get in touch with us that way. Also, believe it or not, I have actually stepped into the 20th century. Yeah, the 20th century. I finally downloaded an instant messaging service. I got it attached to my MySpace account. And so if you're on MySpace and want to send me an instant message if you see that I'm on, well, just feel free. I'll be happy to talk to you via the old instant messenger there. And I look forward to hearing from each of you. We've got our next episode after this one is going to be episode number 25, which will be the EVP special for the month of March. Now, I know David's been out working hard and slaving away getting those EVPs collected, and he's got some good stuff for us, I know. Now, the only problem with this show is it may be delayed by just a day or so, probably no more than a day. And the reason being is because I will be working second shift next week. Yeah, I hadn't done that in about a year. Going to be working 3 days on second shift to cover one of my co-workers getting married. And congratulations to him, and or my condolences, either which way it goes. Only time will tell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Congratulations to him. He's a good guy, and he and the young lady are going to be very happy together. They're good folks. So congratulations to him. So I'll be covering his shift for 3 days while he's taking off to go get married. So anyway, I'll be on second shift next week when the show's supposed to be produced. So you folks bear with me and know that I'm doing it so that the young man can go get married. So, and we'll have that show out for you either late Wednesday night or Thursday evening. But probably no later than Thursday evening. And that's all the stuff I have for today, folks. That's all for this episode. Again, I apologize for the little technical hiccups that we had. I apologize for the rather short show. I apologize to Marty for shorting him a little bit there, but it just couldn't be helped. This interface was driving me nuts, and we were already about halfway in before it really started acting up, and it would have just been a bigger hassle to switch over to the cell phone interface halfway through. So we just bit the bullet and did what we could. But Marty's going to come back on. I'm going to convince him to come back on, even if I have to bribe him. And we'll get things done right and give him some more time to talk and get some more evidence out there. So, hey, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your friendship on MySpace. And, hey, if you go out investigating anytime this week, take the extra 5 seconds and do things right. You know, use a little common sense and be careful. Because you'll make it home safely, and, hey, your family will appreciate it, right? And I'll appreciate it because you'll tune in next week. So just be careful out there. Have a good night, everybody.
time.